Greetings everyone, how you going today? Hope you're doing well. Today is another repair. This PC just came in. It is a MSI Gaming Series Prebuilt PC, and what it's doing is you turn it on, the fan spins up for a little bit, the lights will stay on, but then nothing comes up on the screen, and if you go to try and turn it off, you can't just switch it off. You have to like hold the power button before it actually turns off. Not looking great. So it's maybe graphics card, it may be motherboard, it may be RAM. I'm not sure. We have to do some diagnostics and testing, of course. If I pull off the side here, we get to have a bit of a look. So as you can see, we've got a classic cheap power supply that you get in a case you bought with a power supply installed. It looks to be a 500 watt, I think. Yes, 500 watt. And it's made by FSP, which is like a cheap brand. We have a Seagate mechanical hard drive, I'm guessing for game storage. We got a MSI RTX 3060 Ventus 2 times 12 gig. Alright, so we've got a 3060 12 gig. And the memory, I think I'm just going to pop it out. I think the memory doesn't look like it's a high-end one at all. It's no heat spreaders. And we have a Samsung 16 gig single DDR4 3200 megahertz. So already, like, we've got two slots and they put a single 16 in there. You're not even getting dual channel, and this is supposed to be a gaming PC. Like, what are you doing, MSI?
Oh, okay.
Just ridiculous. And it has no heat spreaders on it, so like it probably doesn't even have XMP. I don't know, but unlikely. And down in the bottom here, they've got a NVMe SSD, and it's made by Western Digital, and it's a 512 gigabyte. Okay, so it's got a 512 gig SSD, probably for Windows. So yeah, not sure what the CPU is yet because I can't get it to turn on. But on the front, I believe, I thought I saw a sticker, but maybe no, there's no sticker. So there's no, oh, here it is. It's an Intel. I think it's an Intel 12th Gen i5. That's what I think it is. I'm not sure because the little logos are hard to tell. So yeah, he said that he'd already given it a dust out with an air compressor, which I immediately asked him, did you stop the fan spinning? And he said, no. And I went, oh. So I'm hoping he didn't cause any current to go back into the board and damage it, and that's why we're here today. But first things first will be trial and error, and I've actually done the first step really. I pulled out the RAM, I'll give this a clean, put it back in, and then we'll see if it'll come up. And then after that it'll be try the graphics, doing the same thing. If that doesn't work, I'll test the power supply for correct voltages. If that doesn't work, clean and reseat the CPU, and if that doesn't work, it's quite likely the motherboard is toast. So anyway, let's get on to doing those steps, and we'll see which one is the problem.
Hello, IT? Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Okay, just cleaned the RAM, and I'm going to use the front desk here to do this because it will probably just be easier to show you guys what's happening. So I'll just plug it all in. Alright, let's see if cleaning the RAM and the RAM slot helps at all. It's got a giant power button lighting up like it did before, and we'll see if the RAM is the issue. My gut feeling it's not the RAM because just the way it was just hanging, like you can't turn it off with one click. It just doesn't work. Oh, this time it did. Maybe it is RAM. Okay, I better just turn that back on. Sometimes it's two problems, like the RAM wasn't in properly or not cleaned, and that was hanging the motherboard, and then it could be like we've got an activity light that's not coming through onto the screen. Yeah, it's not protecting the video card as well. Oh, I bet ya, if I plug the screen into the onboard graphics, we get a picture. Let's see. There's something coming, maybe.
Nope.
There's nothing. Okay. Go back down to the graphics card. We got a picture. Look at that. So is this RAM? Really? Alright. Well, since it was RAM, the next thing I'm going to do is just turn it off, and we're going to run a memtest 86 on it, just to make sure the RAM's actually okay. I can hear the fan spinning up and down quite a bit, which makes me think possibly it's running a bit hot. But now I know I can get a picture. I'll go into the BIOS. Actually, I'm going to go into the BIOS now. So let's do that. I just want to see what the temperatures are. I forgot to pick up the mic.
You're so dumb.
Really triggers me when I'm hitting the delete key and it just ignores me and it goes straight into Windows and doesn't go to the BIOS. It just super annoys me. I don't know why some computers are just like that, and other ones you can hit the BIOS key and you just go straight in, no worries. And then there's ones like this, Neon, and then it just goes into Windows anyway and ignores you.
Ichuta, how rude!
Alright, turn off. Alright, turn on, delete key, let me into BIOS.
Let me in. Let me in.
Huh? It's full on ignoring me. I usually find when it does this, you literally got to move your keyboard connection to the back and find a black tongued USB that is USB 2 before it'll actually listen to you, because for some reason this port isn't active during the boot process until you get to Windows. Annoying. Like every USB port should be working during boot, but some computers it's not the case. Let's try that one more time. Let me into the BIOS. So clearly those ports don't work either. Well, which one does work? Try this one. It's right next to the old PS2 connector. Maybe that's what we need. I don't know. Should my keyboard sucks or something? Like, I don't know. Yes! Finally!
What took us so long?
Alright. We're finally in the BIOS. Oh my gosh. Right. So now we can see exactly what he's got in this machine. Now that I got it to actually give me a picture. Okie doke. So it's running an Mag H510 Infinite S3 motherboard, and we've got a 11th gen. Oh, I was off by one gen. So it's 11th gen i5 11400F, which means F means it's got no onboard graphics. So if the graphics card stops working, I wouldn't have got a picture anyway. And it's picking up the 16 gig of RAM as well. And temperatures, it's got an air cooler, standard sort of stock air cooler, and it's doing 43 degrees idle, which is not that unusual. But what we want to know is what it does under load. And yeah, as I suspected, XMP is completely unavailable. So the RAM is just cheap junk from Samsung, and it's only one piece of it, and it's running in single channel. It's just that annoys me. It just annoys me. And I don't know if I can even do anything about it because RAM prices are so high that you can't just say, hey, let's swap that out with 2 8s. And as far as I know, I don't have 2 8s left in my spares here either that I can just give him or to sort him out. No, and I don't have a matching Samsung either, so it's just all bad. Can't do anything about it unless he's willing to pay for it. And most people are going to say no to that kind of cost. As long as computer's working, and he'll be like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, it just annoys me.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Yeah, their BIOS build date is 2021, so we need to update that if there is an update, so that it's got the latest BIOS, because it often has a lot of fixes for issues and can sometimes give slightly better performance, so we'll do that. But it's looking like it's working. But like I said, we better run that memory test, so I'll go get my memory stick. Alright, we'll plug in my memtest USB stick and we'll tell it to boot from there. I think if we do F11 on boot, it will go to the boot select mode. Let's see if I'm right. Yes, so F11 on MSI gives you the boot select. So we'll go down to my SanDisk partition 2, which loads up the mem test. Yep, here we go, it's loading it up. And we'll just confirm that there's nothing wrong with that stick of RAM, because he said it's been happening on and off, so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So there could be an intermittent fault. So if we stress the RAM, then maybe it will reveal the issue. I don't know why, but it's tiny. Oh dear. We'll zoom into that. It's in tiny mode. Okay, so now you're zoomed in on that. So that'll run through a series of tests, and if anything goes wrong, you'll see red text appear underneath there, and then we'll know there's a problem. If it goes all the way through and nothing happens and it just says pass, then it's pretty likely that the RAM is fine. So we'll let it do that. It takes like 10 to 15 minutes, so I'm not going to let you sit there waiting for it. I'll come back to you. Okay, so it's been a while, and it's finally finished its tests and it's come up all clear. So I'd say the memory is okay. It was probably either the RAM wasn't pushed in properly or some dust got in there and was preventing it from working, but it's not actually faulty. Yeah, from this point I think we'll just go into servicing the computer. We'll still pop out the card, graphics card, and give it a clean, and there's still a little bit of surface dust in here. I'll give it a bit more dust out. We'll get the heat sink off and repaste it and put that back on, and then we'll do the BIOS update as well, and then just go into Windows and just check all the drivers and stuff like that, and then that'll be it. And then we might give this a little bit of a bench test, since it's got a 3060 and it's meant to be a gaming PC, and we'll just see how well it runs. Okay, let's get it all cleaned up. Okay, I think I've mostly finished cleaning up here. Graphics card's clean, CPU's clean with the new paste, and fixed up some wiring and cleared the dust on the intake for the power supply. And this whole plate here, where it covers half the intake for the power supply. And there's a slot in here, but it's just like you're just restricting air and making it harder to clean. Yeah, I don't understand that. Weird design, really bad design. All tidied up now. We've pulled out the graphics card clean, the RAM's clean. CPU paste was quite dry, and it was actually like crusty. So that's all been changed, and the cable up here was dangling down and risking getting into a fan, so I fixed that up as well. But yeah, all done. But one thing I also noticed with this case is it's one of these ones where you can't take off the back panel. It's riveted, so it's all access from the side only. Another sign of a fairly cheap case that is very limited. But at least, unlike HP and Dell and a few others, the motherboard appears to be a standard micro ATX motherboard. So if you wanted to get away from this case and put it into a different case, you could, because it's using standard components, so that's going for it, I guess. But yeah, I'd probably get a better power supply, and I definitely wouldn't worry about a mechanical hard drive, although at the moment with all the pricing, maybe that's the only real way to go. I don't know. Now that's done, let's plug it in, and we'll check the temps and see if the paste and all that has helped, and then we'll move on to just doing a bit of a tune-up, and then we'll do a benchmark. Alrighty, I just tracked down the BIOS for this and found out it's called a MSI Mag Infinite S3 system. So it's actually a MSI branded full system. And there goes my light.
Boy, it's dark in here. I can't see a thing except your eyes.
As you can see, the latest BIOS is 2024, so it definitely needed doing. It's 3 years old. So we'll get that done. We'll let that update, and then we'll go back in the BIOS and see if we can check everything is hunky-dory and check the temperatures. I think I can see already down the bottom there the temperature is about 39. So it's about 3 degrees cooler to what it was, because I think it was either about 42 last time. So yeah, just doing that paste has cooled it off a little bit, which is great. Alright, cool. BIOS went in and it's all working. CPU's 38 degrees, so that's about 4 degrees less than what it was now. I think that's pretty good.
Alrighty then.
Alright everyone, I have finished doing all the drivers and updates and tune-up and all that, so that's all done. I discovered one other thing with this computer while I was working, doing all that stuff, and what I discovered is his C drive and his D drive are completely full, and that's not real good. That's going to cause problems, especially the C drive, because whenever Windows wants to do an update or he wants to run a program that needs to store information while it's running, it's going to cause probably a crash or some kind of error. So I will be informing him that he probably needs to either clean up his drive and reduce the files or upgrade. But as we know, again, as I was talking about the RAM earlier, SSDs are ridiculously expensive right now, and even if I do a pretty good deal for him, a 1 terabyte SSD is about 250 Australian, which is just nuts. But anyway, I will put that to him later on and see what he says. He may go for it, I don't know. But anyway, that's not what I'm doing right now. Right now, we're doing temps and stressing it to make sure the cooling system works. The CPU is currently idling at 37, and from memory, it previously idled about 42 or something like that. So we've definitely got a drop in temperature just by giving it a clean and putting some thermal paste on. So let's give it a stress and we'll see how well it copes with being under load. So we're not getting any thermal throttling, which is great. We don't want throttling because that makes the experience bad. It was kind of weird reaction just there. I noticed it jumped to 70 degrees and then all of a sudden it backpedaled back to 58. It's kind of strange. But yeah, it's under full stress. We're barely cracking, we just cracked 60. So yeah, I'd say the cooling system's working. Like I like to keep computers at like 70 degrees under full load in the 70s. So this is well under that. So yeah, it's definitely not overheating unless the sensors are playing up on the thing. According to Ada, it's running fine. So other than that weird spike, not sure why that happened. We'll stop there. So looking good. Alright, we'll leave this here and now we'll do superposition. Because it's just so little room on the drive, I can't actually get 3D Mark onto this computer to test. It was a struggle to get this one on. We'll do superposition and we'll see how this 3060 12 gig goes. And we have a score of 5,098. Alright, I'll leave it there for now and then I'll just go check these results with what I've already got and I'll come back to you.
The suspense is terrible.
He's gonna go this time.
I hope it'll last.
Alright, I got those details from previous benchmarks on superposition and the two 3060s, both the 12 gig versions, they both came in very similar. The Ryzen 5 was slightly better, it was about 50 points, so not a lot in it, but technically the Ryzen beat the Intel. But the 5068 gig, you can see, beats them both by about 2,000 points, so you can see it's definitely a big jump in improvement in performance, but in today's modern games, a lot of them need more than 8 gig of VRAM, so that's the other thing to consider, even when you're running 1080p. So this is where we're at with the current memory shortages and graphics card pricing and all that. NVIDIA's pushing us towards going back to 3060s and using 8 gig cards if you want to have a 5060 or anything like that. So yeah, it's not a great situation currently in the market, but yeah, it gives you an idea of performance anyway. But yeah, you'd be definitely better going for a 5060 Ti if you could find one with a 16 gig RAM on it, or even going up to a 5070 if you can afford it, because you're just going to get more performance. Well, that's it. This computer's fixed. The customer may get me to upgrade the storage, but I've got a gut feeling they probably will just say don't worry about it, because storage is expensive. But if that happens, I'll do that, but that doesn't really affect performance and all that. It's just a bit of an upgrade for storage. So other than that, yeah, the computer's all fixed and it was just purely a dust issue. So once again, I just highlight the need for you to keep your computer serviced and keep the dust at bay if you can, because yeah, you can make your computer stop working. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was helpful, informative, or maybe funny for you, I don't know. But really appreciate you watching to the end and checking out my channel. If you like what you see, give us a like and a subscribe. It really helps me out, and then I can keep doing this and keep improving the videos. But I am a one-man band, so sometimes things get really busy and I can't just get the videos out perfectly on time. Maybe in the future, if I get bigger, I might get someone to do my video editing for me. But as it is at the moment, I'm just doing everything as well as repairing people's computers. So, alright, well, I'll see you later. Bye for now.